Alright guys, so I'm here at work. I'm outside. I actually wanted to just try something a little bit different as far as like the atmosphere and everything else. So I'm going to do this outside. It's been raining, so hopefully you get a little ASMR in between and everything. So what I was going to speak to today is trusting your instincts, and got a little backstory with it. So the reception I've been getting to the page has been exceptional, so I thank everybody who's watching this right now, because you're a part of that. And as always, hit the like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Comments, questions, concerns, just like the title, are always appreciated, to help create the dialogue within everything that we got going on. So let me jump to it. A friend of mine came to me and he was saying, hey, I was seeing one of your videos and it really got me thinking about, his situation with his girl. I'm not going to go into what the details are. It's one of those things where it's the topic, trust your instincts, and that's kind of what we talked about. I do got some notes. I jotted some stuff down because I was really interested in kind of helping him navigate through this, because he wasn't angry or anything else. He was just a little confused. And I told him, I said, this is what we're conditioned to do, is push our instincts aside and give way to conventional thinking, which is give benefit of the doubt, and it's probably not what you think it is, or this or that. We have instincts for a reason, just like animals have instincts for a reason. It helps you go through life and be as unscathed as possible. There's definitely things that are going to happen, things we don't see coming, and that's okay too. But there's a lot of things we shouldn't just ignore. So let me get to that. So if you have a trust your instinct moment and you are unsure how to possibly approach this other person, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your job, whether it could be a lot of different things. But these are some things that came to mind as I was going through it. So not leaping to a conclusion is a huge one. If you are going to bring this to somebody, don't leap to telling them what it is that you think that they were doing. Give them that opportunity. So you want to bring your questions. You want to have a birth of inquiry, where you've let this process within you, and then you can go to them and say, this is what I'm thinking. But you got to take your time on this. You really got to kind of let it marinate, because if you go in with emotion, this is where you get to the finger pointing, because you are just ramped up and you are so ready for answers that you already have manifested in your mind that are already there. So it's kind of the wrong way to jumpstart a conversation, because you're immediately going to put that person on the defense, and then you really get nowhere. Now you've just got a lot of energy that's not conducive to finding solutions. So process feelings and thought. Take your time. Remove the over emotional mindset. So kind of jump through all that stuff. So it's good that I'm not trying to memorize this. This is just what I was thinking and what I would have gone through anyway. So effectively communicate. You can do this a few different ways. So while you're processing, you can do a well-written letter. I would say like a hand letter. That way it has a very personal effect. An email or a text may come across a little more impersonal. We want to remove the emojis. We want to remove the things that can kind of get taken out of context when we see text messages or things like that. It won't have the same importance. In a handwritten letter, you don't see it often, so it's kind of like, wow, they must have really felt a certain way if they're going to sit down and write something by hand. And it gives you more time to think about what you're going to say. Even if you don't give them that letter, just writing it will give you the opportunity to kind of slowly go through your thoughts, because you're not going to outthink. Your hand's not going to be faster than your thinking. So makes you slow down with your thought process, and maybe you start to answer some of your own things, or at least it quells a lot of the emotional uprising that you have within yourself. So it's a good way just for yourself, even if you don't give them that letter, by the time you do address it to them. So by the time you address it to them, let's see. Went through personal, gives respondent time to process as well. If you give them a letter, it gives them time to read it, go through it, maybe read it twice, 3 times, and then start thinking in their minds, okay, this is how I might want to answer. You might get a letter back. You just never know, but it gives them time as well. And that way, even if you still are emotional, you're not face to face when they get the letter, and so, or you're not face to face when this topic comes up, so they may not feel so on the defensive. It gives them a space in which to receive what you're talking about, and then respond, or at least process before they respond in their own mind. Not feeling attacked, not a text. Then you want to introduce a constructive dialogue. With this, it's a non-accusatory tone, and that was right from the jump. Don't go in telling them what you know, otherwise why are you asking them? And you put somebody at a very defensive posture when you do that. Let's see, what else? My handwriting, not that good. Words and body language. The way you say things, the tone in which you say it, the words in which you choose can sound very accusatory, manipulative. There's certain things. Body language, when you are receiving their answers, if you're like this is a very defensive posture. If you're not looking, not making eye contact, if you're rolling your eyes, shrugging, or anything else, give them the same respect that you would want when you were talking to somebody as well. That's just it's just good practice. Ask for clarification. If you when you are coming in, hey, I've been having some problems with in my own head, can you help me clarify this? I don't want to come across like a finger point or anything, but can you give me some clarity on what it is that I'm feeling, or why I might be feeling this way about what's going on? I think that's a fair question to ask, and it gives them the opportunity to not feel like they are suddenly in the bright lights and they have to just answer everything. It's not an inquiry or an inquisition or anything else like that. We're not answering depositions. We're answering to somebody's request to help them with their emotional state. You can't cure everything for everybody, but some things you can at least help. You can at least help them, give them the tools in which they can kind of bring themselves back down. Listen with intent. And listen with intent, not just ready to talk, not ready to throw out something else. Listen, because the answers may be in there. If it's not the answer that you want, sometimes that is, the answer though. And it may be not what you expected, it may be not what you want, it may not be satisfactory, but if that is the answer, sometimes that is just the answer. But you can circle back, but be careful. Don't beat a dead horse, because then you will frustrate the other person, where they're saying like, look, I answered your question, what more can I do? Let's see. And when you're listening with intent, you want to listen it with the intent to receive closure, receive the information that you can make this a first and last conversation. The ones that drag on for 2-3 days or 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, years, those are no good, and it's just cancerous. And those are a lot of times the ones you just can't get out from under, because they're just riddled with resentment. There's no real solution at that point. Now it's just get back here, get back there, and it turns into something that it just could be avoided if at all possible. Again, no tit for tat. When you respond accordingly, respond as thoroughly as you possibly can, because you've had the chance to think this out. So once they give you an answer, instead of just answering with another question, possibly have some context to say, okay, I wasn't sure, I'm glad you clarified that, or give some sentences, some words, some feedback to them, rather than just another question, again, so it doesn't turn into a court proceeding. Let's see, be thorough. First and last convo, speak in even tones. Try to at least flatten out, so it's not so much of a roller coaster of emotions. Speak clearly. Give clear sentences. Don't make this cryptic. Don't make it, well, you know what you did, or that's never a positive thing, because again, you will frustrate the person, possibly get them defensive, and then it's just, again, it's that energy you don't want. Lastly, when you are closing out your conversation, whether you are fully satisfied or not, thank them, because they honestly didn't have to answer the questions, didn't have to go into the conversation, And even if you're not satisfied, thank them anyways. Thank them for their time, or at least their effort, their energy. Now, if they clearly just weren't putting anything out there or weren't trying to be cooperative or a part of that conversation, still thank them. Be the bigger person, take the high road, and take those red flags. Again, at the beginning, the whole theme, trust your instinct. A lot of times people will give you their answers even without saying anything. It's their behavior, the body language, their willingness to, participate in a conversation. So I've been there on both sides, trust me, and you learn from it. So this is why, hopefully, what I've gone through, I can pass on. And shout out to my man for trusting that the content that I'm putting out and the ideologies, the philosophy that I have been angling towards he felt was worth bringing or being able to share with me. And so now I'm just sharing another experience with you guys. If you, again, like this content, please, constructive comments, questions, concerns, all that stuff, click the like, the subscribe, share this content if you enjoy it as well with others who might need to hear it. There's a whole world of people out there who aren't getting these lessons, who aren't astute, and there's nobody telling them this sort of stuff. So if you enjoy it for you, I think, sharing it with somebody who you might feel like this, they could benefit from this. That's a really good jumping point that we can grow this, have more dialogue, and get more healing out there. So guys, have a fantastic night, morning, wherever you are at. Hopefully this finds everybody in good health and spirits, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.
Make it shine. Here we go. It ain't about the jewels, it ain't about the cars, it's all about the heart when it's time to put it in the air, put it on your word, represent your people, let them see ya. Do it like you do, show them the original, do it like you're supposed to, let them see ya. Own it like a boss, nothing but a thing, always maintain to hit them with the